Today we're going to look at the Federalists and Anti-Federalists. Questions you should consider are what should the goals of government be and how to compromise shape the Constitution. The Constitution was a new plan for government, but when the Constitutional Convention ended, not everyone immediately agreed. Remember, 9 states still had to ratify or approve the document, and there was a lot of disagreement over whether or not that should happen. The people who disagreed generally fell into 2 groups, either the Federalists or the Anti-Federalists. And if you're looking at the words there, right, use those as hints to what the words mean. Federalists are going to be about the federal government, whereas Anti-Federalists will be the opposite of that. So the Anti-Federalists, many of them at least, agreed that the Articles of Confederation weren't strong enough. But they felt that the Constitution, as it was written at the convention, did not give the states enough power. They felt it didn't offer any protection for basic freedoms, such as a Bill of Rights. Keep in mind, even if you have a little prior knowledge about what the Bill of Rights is, that was not written at the Constitutional Convention. Only the preamble and the Articles for Government were written. So the Anti-Federalists really worried that a president could easily become a king. The Federalists favored a strong central government. Some examples of them were James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay. A lot of the younger leaders who'd been at the Constitutional Convention believed this because consider their experiences. They didn't have as much memory of the American Revolution and fighting for liberty from Britain. They were much younger. Their negative experiences were Shays' Rebellion, the economic depression, and the problems caused by the Articles. So the Federalists believed that the executive needed power to enforce the laws. This went back and forth in newspapers for months and even years. The Federalist Papers are a really famous document, and it's a collection of essays all written in favor of the new Constitution. And a lot of those were written by James Madison. 2 of these leaders, the Federalist and Anti-Federalist leaders, will really start this feud that is going to continue into early American history. And it's kind of really fascinating when you look at it. Alexander Hamilton is the gentleman on the left, and Thomas Jefferson, our friend from the Declaration of Independence and the letter about Shays' Rebellion, is on the right. And these 2 guys have totally different points of view on government, but will end up working together during George Washington's presidency. So you get to read a little bit of their back and forth fighting. Hamilton represents the Federalists. He believes in a strong federal government, whereas Jefferson, the Anti-Federalists. The ratification process took a couple years. At least 9 states had to approve the Constitution, and Rhode Island ended up being the last one to approve. Delaware was the first one to approve. So if you ever see the license plates that say the first state, that's why Delaware considers itself to be so. After ratification, there was a presidential election, and the president was selected to be George Washington and the vice president John Adams. And later on, the Bill of Rights was added. The Anti-Federalists wanted a Bill of Rights, and they fought for that, and it was eventually added through Congress. They met on this in March 1789, and they ended up proposing about 17 amendments or changes to the Constitution and passed 12 of them. The first 10 are called the Bill of Rights, and they're considered to be our most important freedoms that should be protected. They protect citizens against the unfair use of government power, and they include the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech, religion, petition, demonstration, assembly, and the press. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and several more that we will take a look at in class.